So, good afternoon. Today we are going to be talking about three important elements or components of what you can call energy pack. Energy pack in the sense that this particular component of what we call vitamins and elements are very important whenever you want to talk about you having energy. Are you feeling fatigue all the time? You feel weak, you feel stressed out even when you did not really undergo any physical activity that require being stressed out. Then these are the elements you need to consider. They are part of what we call multivitamins, they are part of what we call supplements. And good enough, they are part of our daily meals, which we need to really look into and consider. Why do we need to look into this and pay more attention to it? It's because this particular three wise components will help you stay healthy. They will help to put your body system at work and give you the needed vitality that you need at every point in time as it requires, or when you're talking about energy or feeling fatigue. Okay, what are these three energy components we are talking about? They are not mystery, they are just simple three things. I like calling them the BID. Why do I call BID? B stands for vitamin B12, I stands for iron, and D stands for vitamin D. So I'm going to break them down in simple terms, what each of them do, how they appear. So vitamin B12, what is the other name? Vitamin B12 can also be called cobalamin. It's a water-soluble vitamin. What does it do and why is it important in giving energy? Now, vitamin B12 helps in the metabolism of both fatty and amino acid. You cannot talk about protein without the building blocks of protein, which are amino acid. So you see, even growth, the energy in growing, which protein is implicated, is not done without vitamin B12. The breaking down of fatty acid or putting them together for use as reserve energy for the body cannot happen without the vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is also a cofactor in DNA synthesis. We keep talking about DNA. Go and do your DNA test. You need to find out if that is your child. So it therefore means it helps in your personal identity. It helps to put those factors together. Imagine the vitamin B12 and there's no DNA. Can you actually exist without having a DNA? Your own makeup of DNA? I think it's not possible because the cells cannot actually stay without one. Vitamin B12 also helps in the functioning of the nervous system because it actually helps in the metabolism or the real functioning system of the myelin of the nervous system. It also helps in the red blood formation. That way it helps in circulation. Vitamin B12 is found in the bone marrow and it helps in the maturity of red blood cells. So you see, you're looking for energy and you can't do that without the red blood cells, because if you don't have red blood cells, the energy that circulates the body in the form of oxygen cannot happen without the red blood cell, because the main component of red blood cells is hemoglobin, And if red blood cells is not formed, you will not find hemoglobin, and there will be no energy transported to every part of the body as required. So we now ask, why is it very important? There are deficiencies of this vitamin, this particular vitamin B12. So anytime you feel extremely tired, remember to find out, do you have or have you taken enough vitamin B12? Anytime you are feeling, all those people feeling the pain kind of a pain. I can't drop my leg, and pin and needle kind of pain, what we call paresthesia, is because of deficiency of vitamin B12. Muscle weakness, you see sore and redness of tongue and all that. Those are all as a result of lack of vitamin B12. Now, because it even helps in the nervous system, some persons can go as far as becoming depressed because of lack of vitamin B12. And because this helps in doing all these things and mitigating all these deficiencies that is showing, or we have talked about, there is a whole lot of them. I can't mention all of them now. You can drop your questions in the comment section. I will attend to them as I get them. Because of these reasons, no one can said to be energized if the person is feeling all this. So let's quickly look at the second element, which is the eye, what we call iron. I will not dwell so much on this because it's more simple and is what people should understand. Iron is the building block of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the component of red blood cell that helps in transporting oxygen, which is the energy that the inner body needs. So when there is no iron, there is no hemoglobin, and we said to have what we call anemia. Okay, so iron in the other way is also called ferrous. Now people will say this is related to medical terms. No, remember our elementary chemistry, the periodic table. Fe stands for iron, and all those periodic table are actually short form, an abbreviation, or a kind of an acronym to describe the elements. Fe stands for ferrous or ferric, depending on which particular climb you are actually looking at. And while when doing chemistry, you used to see when they write Fe 3+, giving the valence electron of 3. But today is not for chemistry. Today is for what is iron doing in giving you energy. Okay, so because iron is the building block of hemoglobin, it is very important to have it in sufficient amounts so that it helps boost the body oxygen carrying capacity. Without iron, there is no hemoglobin. If I were to draw the structure of hemoglobin, you will see that iron is in the center and every other component is attached to it to form hemoglobin. So let's talk about the third component, the D. In this particular topic, remember I put it as an acronym that for the energy of your body, for you to feel energized and active and feel healthy, that you need these three components. Though you need more than these three, but these three are very important, and I call them BID, a bead, which I say B stands for vitamin B12. I was specific, I didn't just say vitamin B's because there are plenty of them in that cascade. And I is for iron. Iron is not a vitamin per se, it's an element, but it found its way to become a supplemented element for the body use. And the last on this particular list is vitamin D. What is vitamin D? Vitamin D is calciferol. Now, it can exist in two forms, as ego or cholecalciferol. Ego, man-made, like the ones you're going to be seeing in what we have in our supplements, what we have in the drug supplement multivitamin. Those are man-made, so those are called ego calciferol. But the one that the body form is called cholecalciferol. How is it formed? I want to take our mind back a bit to when we were kids. When they put to bed some children, you keep hearing, like some of us who grew up in the village, when the morning sun comes, they will carry the child and keep outside. They say they want to give the child energy. Now, that is the energy. Because when the ultraviolet rays of the sunlight hit the skin, it helps in the synthesis or the formation of vitamin D, which is calciferol. What is the major function of vitamin D? Where does vitamin D work? Okay, how do vitamin D works and where does it work? Remember, our elementary thinking about vitamin D is once they mention vitamin D, they are talking about bone. Yes, they are talking about bone. And some persons will ask, why is it implicated in terms of energy? Yes, this is why it's implicated, because vitamin D is part of the bone marrow synthesis. The formation of the bone marrow, vitamin D is part of it. And the red blood cell formation happens in the bone marrow. So imagine without vitamin D, how do you tend to have a bone marrow? And how will even the energy comes? Because all we are talking about is surrounding one thing, that energy for the body is carried by a system called circulating system. And there are certain elements and vitamins that helps that system to function optimally. A few of the elements which are very important amidst others is the vitamin B12, iron, and vitamin D. Vitamin D is found in bone marrow synthesis. That's why somebody have broken bone. The next thing is give calcium and vitamin D3. And these days in our pharmacies, where we have the drugstores and the rest of them, you often will find anywhere they are selling calcium, most of them come with combination of vitamin D. Yes. Why? Because those are actually supposed to be working for proper bone formation and also the proper formation of bone marrow, which in turn help in the formation of red blood cells. Now, people will ask, what are the sources of this particular BID? Our first source of them is they are already available as supplement formation multivitamins in our pharmacies. They are also available in certain meals. Yes, red meat, people will preach red meat is not good, but I'm telling you that the primary source and most efficient source of iron is the red meat. Yes, is it very good for us to be taking red meat? It depends. When the benefit outweighs the risk, you need to take it. But when the risk of other complications arising from red meat is more alarming and life-threatening, then you need to avoid. Then you can actually buy, we have ferrous sulfate, the red tablet that we keep seeing. Is a beautiful source of iron. We have vitamin B12 existing alone and in combination with other vitamins where they have B complex. We have vitamin D existing alone and in combination with other elements like calcium. They are still good sources of vitamin D. We have fruits that are rich in all this, like orange, carrots, fig. They are all very rich sources of vitamin B12 and a little of vitamin D. This is to further tell you that your health is safe and is secure. Remember this channel to subscribe. And one thing is very important, that good health begins with you. Thank you for listening, and be sure to drop your comments, questions as we respond to them. My name is Pharmacist Usoro Clement.